So, a question I oftentimes get a lot of times is, what do you do when you're blocked? I feel like artist block is like this mystical kind of monster that people, they feed into a lot. It's not to say that it's not real, but it's the idea that you can't get past it. It's this beast that sits on your chest, and then suddenly, like, you can't breathe, and there's nothing there. It's like suffocating. Gives you panic attacks. There's a great quote that says, from a not so great person, that says, a panic attack is like being fucked in the heart with glass. It's a hell of a quote, and it's always stuck with me for years. Not a great guy, but it's honest. And I think a lot of times, like, that's the issue that happens. Like, people think that there's just this unstoppable, unending, unwielding, like, inability to do anything. And the truth is, there are exercises you can do that'll kind of open you up a little bit. So one of the things that I like to do is I just take a bunch of random colors and I just kind of do like a mood painting. And then I think about other art that's kind of more abstract, and then I kind of work towards like the structure and the textures that they had. So with this, I thought about like Rothko. Like, you had the blocks and the hard lines. And obviously, it's not a Rothko. It's not one of those things. I'm not trying to make a Rothko. But it's stuff like this. You make creative backgrounds, and you do all these things. And then from that, you can kind of let your imagination kind of bloom. And it doesn't have to be this like perfect painting that you're striving to do, but you got to make something. Even if it's just something that like goes in like a bathroom or in a kitchen, or hangs above, like one of those goofy welcome signs that people have in their kitchen or whatever. It's a big thing that would happen in North Carolina a lot. You'd see like a lot of like live, love, live type of artwork on wood, painted on wood, distressed wood and stuff like that. And like, I think about those, and then I think it was like, this person was obviously, I would hope this person was blocked, but in actuality, like, people like this. This is like kind of like kitsch stuff, and it grabs people. I'm not telling you to make it because it's going to grab people, but there's no reason to drive yourself insane because you feel like you're not making the next big masterpiece. Like, every painting you do, particularly once you get past a certain point, at the beginning it's really difficult, and somewhere towards I won't even say the end, because it's not the end, but once you've established like your style and you know what you want to make and you know how you want things to feel and look and etc., you start making things specifically in a certain way. I've always believed that the best way to understand your style is when you start accepting your mistakes and then fixing them, as opposed to freaking out and throwing things away. That is your style. So, yeah, it's just kind of one of those things. You have to kind of let yourself just breathe and create things. And they don't have to be completely perfect. That's not the point. To constantly try and find perfection is like this weird, unnecessary feeling that people put themselves through. They torture themselves thinking that, it has to be this and it has to be that. And in actuality, like, it's just going to be whatever it is. It is what it is. And that's just the truth. I love my style. I always have. Well, that's not true. I haven't always loved my style. I was very tortured trying to figure out how I could paint like other people for a long time. Kind of like all of us do. And I came to the realization that, like, I wasn't doing anything wrong with how I painted. And I realized that slightly because external forces were kind of telling me, they're like, I really like how you did this. And I was like, really? This is kind of bad. People were like, no, this is nice. I like this. This is kind of cool. So the first suggestion I would say is just kind of take a bunch of colors, take a weird brush. I'm using a toothbrush in this. And just kind of go from there and see how that goes. The second thing I would say to do is walk around, take like your cell phone or an actual camera, and go around and then just take photos of everything that's around you. There's lots of really interesting things that are going to kind of hit your imagination in a certain way after you've done them. So let that happen, you know? Let that be how these things go forward. You don't have to just sit there and stare at an empty canvas until something comes up. There's a lot of really great things that are going to come up, and it's really just a matter of like you putting yourself out there. It's important. So just let that happen. Breathe and create.